We're back in on the program a little after 10. Eric Smith is with us this morning. Eric is a candidate for the Republican nominee, I guess you'd say, for the sheriff office. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to have you, Sheriff. Okay, you're off today? Is that right?
I'm off today.
Yeah, you're a state trooper?
Yes, sir.
You hadn't seen a little black truck running down the road too fast, have you?
I haven't seen that.
Okay, good. That's good. Just want to make sure it's not mine. I just want to make sure. Hadn't gotten a ticket lately. That's good.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. How long have you been a state trooper?
I have been with the state troopers a little over 17 and a half years. I started in 1996 as a trooper cadet. I was transferred to Grove Hill, which is in Clark County. I stayed there about a year and a half before I went to the Trooper Academy and went through it in Selma, Alabama. Before that, I was assigned to Morgan County. I patrolled Morgan County up until probably October of '99, and that's when I transferred back home to Limestone.
What made you want to get into law enforcement?
You know, it's law enforcement has been in my family. It runs in my family. I've had several members. My father retired from the sheriff's department in I think '06.
Who's your dad, for everybody that didn't know?
Donnie Smith. He was the deputy there at Limestone County for years. Several other family members, cousins, uncles, all over the state have been in law enforcement, so I just jumped on board and got in there too.
Yeah, you like that?
All of it. It's a very rewarding job.
Yeah. I don't know. You know, I'll tell you the truth. I think sometimes that some of you people that are in law enforcement aren't quite. I don't think you play with a full deck.
Well, it takes a unique breed to be able to do this.
Of course, all disc jockeys are crazy. We know that
That's
already.
Right. There you go.
You know, so no, I mean it does. It really takes a special person to be able to go out and do it because you see it all.
You do.
You know, you have to work the bad wrecks. You have to. You know, you do the good things. There's a lot of good things that you guys do, not just give tickets and that stuff, but
right.
you see the bad stuff.
Right. There's a whole lot more to being a state trooper than running
tickets. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Did you work for the sheriff's department before you went to the state troopers?
Well, when I was going to college right after high school, I was in Calhoun. I was a reserve deputy with the sheriff's department, only for about a year, and then that's when I hired on with the troopers.
Oh, okay. So you've been a trooper. You pretty much have
I've been
a trooper.
with troopers all my life, pretty much, just about. So
yeah, 17 years.
17 and a half years, yes, sir.
You know, it's a lot to give up. So I mean, you know, I'm not trying to tell you how to run your business now, but you got 17 years with the state.
Yes, sir.
I know what the state retirement is, and it's pretty good.
Yes, sir.
To give up 17 years, you know, to come up here and be the sheriff of Limestone County is that's quite a give up.
Well, you know, that's something I want to do, and I feel like I have the ability to serve the public in that capacity. I'm looking forward to the opportunity if they give it to me.
You know, I see your stuff around town, your billboards, the ads that you're running here with us on the radio, and you talk about this new direction.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about what's a new direction?
All right, a new direction. It's time to get things done that are currently not being done. It's time to get Limestone County Sheriff's Department into the 21st century when it comes to training, equipment, and day-to-day operations. The days of Mayberry have come and gone, unfortunately, you know. But I believe that the morals and values of that time should hold true today. There's things like being more responsible with the taxpayers' money. I believe that, you know, some of the money issues have been could have been spent in a whole lot better way. Like, for instance, the airplane was bought. You know, Limestone County Sheriff's Department doesn't need an airplane. The county's not big enough for that.
Mm-hmm.
The helicopter is actually a very useful tool, and I could see, you know, keeping that. But
to be honest with you, I didn't know we had an airplane.
Yeah, well, they have one. Not many folks know that.
Okay.
You know, bring the department, like I said, into the 21st century. It's time to upgrade some of the equipment. You've got some deputies out there that are riding around on patrol with expired bulletproof vests. I mean, and that's, you know, your employees are your most valuable resource. You need to make sure that you take care of those employees and make sure they're there because the employees actually make or break the sheriff's department. And who you got working for you is, you know, they either make the sheriff look good or they make the sheriff look bad.
Mm-hmm. You're running against two other guys in the Republican race, which you will have to beat both of them,
right,
to get into the race to run against Mike,
yes, sir,
who's been in office 32 years. And there's a lot to be said for 32 years,
right,
good and bad. Now, some people say, hey, you know, 32 years is too long. You know, we need to do something. So some others say 32 years is fantastic, and we know what we're doing, and we want to keep it, you know, this way. Right. We don't like change. We'll leave it alone. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You're saying it's broke.
Well, I'm saying it's time to get some new blood in there, new ideas in there. Once you're in there 32 years, you know, I don't have a problem with Mike as a person. He's been a great guy. He's helped me out as far as my job with the trooper. So it's nothing. It's not a personal vendetta against him.
Yeah,
so
he was a trooper at one time.
Yes, sir, he was.
Yeah, but it goes way back. Young Republicans. Let's talk about that for just a second. We'll go back to this New Direction thing here in a minute.
Okay.
Let's jump over to Young Republicans. Tell me about Young Republicans.
Young Republicans is an age group for if you're between the ages of 18 and 40, and you believe in the Republican values, you can join the Young Republicans.
That's why nobody in this room is in the Young Republicans, because we're all old.
You're over 40, right?
Everybody in here is over 40,
yeah,
except you.
Except me. I got 3 more years. Okay. Then they have to kick me out.
Do they kick you out?
Oh, no. I think you just kind of, they let you be.
I mean, I can see once you get in, you should be a grandfather then. They shouldn't kick you out, man.
You have to go to the executive committee then. Once you
I can see not letting the old people in, but keep the young ones in once they get there.
There you go.
So you're going to speak to those guys tomorrow?
Well, I think Mo Brooks is going to be there tonight. It's going to be
tonight.
Mo Brooks will be there. It's going to be at 306 Barbecue on 72 East. Mo Brooks will be there, and I'm going to get up and just say a few words after Mo gets done.
Yeah. So what do you think about the Republican Party?
Well, I believe it's going strong. The demographic in Limestone County has completely done a 180. It's changed. I believe it's going to be a good thing.
The last election that we had, the last big election, we cleaned house.
Really? Yes.
I mean, we got rid of the district attorney. We got rid of Tom Butler, state senator. The list just. I think Mike said that I forget his exact quote, but. A one-legged child abuse person could have gotten elected sheriff if he'd have been running and the election had been held that day.
Yep.
Just if they'd have been a Republican.
Right.
Do you think that the upcoming election is pretty much the same way?
I think so. I think people are ready. I think people are,
They're just going to vote Republican regardless?
Well, I think Washington has helped the Republican Party, that's for sure. So I don't really know for sure if they're going to do the same thing as they did the last election season, but we'll just have to wait and see, I guess.
Your first 100 days. If you're elected, what are you going to do the first 100 days?
Well, during the first 100 days, I'd like to look at the remaining. I have to look at the remaining budget, see what's left, the fleet condition, and make sure what we work through, what I got to work with. I will look at the department's manpower issues, and I'd like to see that each employee is in the most fitting position for them, and make sure it benefits the department and also the citizens of Limestone County. I want to look into maybe applying for some grants that is available. That can assist in purchasing the equipment and the training. And I want to begin to work on the department standard operating procedure. I talked to a couple of the deputies here last week or two. There's no really written standard operating procedure for the sheriff's department. One of them told me that the last one he's seen, they were talking about using revolvers. I said, so that's got to be, that's years ago when they had revolvers. So it's time to, you can policy yourself to death, but you need to have some sort of guidelines to go by, so there's not a double standard when dealing with your employees. And at some point, I'd like to host an event that invites the public out to come out and meet your command staff of the sheriff's department. And have a little public event where they can come and ask questions and voice their concerns of what they see in their neighborhood. And I want to look at each employee's job description to make sure that there's no redundancy going on in that department. So that's what I'd like to do in some of the first 100 days there.
How many people is employed by the sheriff right now?
Give
me a rough idea.
I'm going to say probably, I know you got 20, you're 21 road deputies, 7 or 8, or about 6 or 7 investigators, so you've probably got 70 or 80 people maybe. I'm not sure how many jailers there are.
Do you think that's enough? Is that too many?
Well, if you allot the people, I know there's a couple of positions that are sworn deputy positions that are in administrative jobs, and I believe that those jobs could be done by non-certified personnel, and I believe that those deputies could be brought back on patrol where they need to be. So I believe there needs to be actually more deputies on the road just patrolling the neighborhoods. Limestone County is growing, especially the east side of the county. You can't go over there now without, it's just a massive subdivisions over there now, so there's people moving in from Huntsville and all over. So I believe that Limestone County needs a few more deputies.
Have you ever thought, or do you think that it's feasible to maybe have a substation or an office or something out in the east part of the county?
Limestone County, Athens is the county seat. It's centrally located. I don't believe that a substation would be necessary because it's just a building. And if a deputy is doing their job, they're not going to be sitting at a building. They're going to be out patrolling. So I don't know only way I could see putting a substation out is if you could partner maybe with a driver's license or the probate judge office and make it to where those folks over there in East Limestone could go renew their driver's license, renew a tag. That would be more
kind of like one of these remote post offices, like they got at the Railroad Bazaar.
Yeah, that might would work. But I mean, as far as having one in all quadrants of the all districts, I think that's a waste of taxpayer money there. So.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a short break. It's 10:16. We'll continue our visit with Eric Smith in just a minute. Stay right with us.
Tonight, it's the premiere of NBC's new medical drama, The Night Shift.
TC was an Army Ranger, battlefield doc.
He's a hero, driven to save everyone but himself.
I keep having these dreams. I keep reliving that moment.
Let me help you.
But how can she heal the man who broke her heart?
I can't stop thinking about you.
The Night Shift premieres tonight at 10/9 Central, after the premiere of America's Got Talent on NBC.
Memorial Day savings are on now at the Home Depot. That means special buys and new lower prices on every style of flooring, from hardwood to laminate to carpet. So, let's step on it. In a single trip, you can shop hundreds of styles of flooring. Plus, save 10% when you put your new floor on your Home Depot credit card. Let's do this. Memorial Day savings on a huge selection of flooring. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Credit offer valid through May 28th. U.S. only, subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
For over 20 years, Dr. Tim Melson helped heal others, but with just weeks to live, it was Tim Melson who needed help. The gift of an organ donor gave Tim Melson a second chance at life. Now it's Tim Melson's turn to give back. It's why he's running for state senate. Dr. Tim Melson knows better than anyone that Obamacare will ruin health care, so he's committed to opposing Obama and his liberal health care plan and fighting back against federal overreach into our schools. Tim Melson is also a farmer and small business owner, so he understands that low taxes and less spending, not government, create jobs. An avid hunter and outdoorsman, Tim Melson will defend our Second Amendment rights, and as a doctor, he understands that life begins at conception, and Tim Melson will restore honesty and integrity in government. Dr. Tim Melson, conservative Republican for State Senate. Paid for by Tim Melson for State Senate, Post Office Box 550, Florence, Alabama.
When your clothing needs to be professionally dry cleaned, take it to Classic Cleaners, now with 3 locations to serve you. Your clothes will be kept looking as good as new with their professional dry cleaning and laundry service. Classic Cleaners also offers same-day service Tuesday through Saturday. If your clothing has a tough stain, in most cases, Classic Cleaners can remove it without a trace. Bring your drapes, curtains, bedspreads, and comforters to Classic Cleaners. Classic Cleaners also offers wedding gown preservation and leather cleaning. Classic Cleaners now with 3 locations. Highway 72 East and Lindsay Lane, open Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. 600 South Jefferson Street, open Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And now on Highway 72 West in Killen, open Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
Under Chairman Stanley Menefee's leadership, Limestone County has become a great place for hardworking families to thrive and call home. Stanley Menefee has brought jobs to Limestone County. Remington, Carpenter Technologies, and Avionics, to name a few. Recruiting jobs and industries to Limestone County is one of Stanley Menefee's top priorities. Under Chairman Menefee's leadership, Limestone County was awarded millions of transportation funds from the state to build roads and infrastructure. Stanley Menefee will continue to bring his conservative Republican leadership to the County Commission and be a watchdog for taxpayers' dollars and cutting the wasteful spending. Vote June 3rd, Stanley Menefee for chairman. Open, honest leadership we can trust for Limestone County. Paid for by Friends to elect Stanley Menefee, 15950 East Limestone Road, Harvest, Alabama 35749.
Back in with Eric Smith at 10:20 on Tuesday morning. We're talking politics and sheriff's race, which the one that you're involved in first. You got to get through phase 1 before you can go to phase 2. So, you know, that's June 3rd.
June 3rd, another week.
Are you kind of ready for it?
I'm ready. I'm ready for it to be over. I said it's been it's like course, I'm working a full-time jobs, and I can't afford to take a leave of absence, so it's like working 2 full-time jobs. But one of them's only one of them's paying at the moment.
Yeah, well, never mind. I won't go there. I'm sure there's. What I was going to say is, I'm sure there's some that have a full-time job that they're probably just, kind of doing this on the side too.
I'm sure.
That's okay. You were talking earlier about doing some things differently at the office. One of the things we want to clear up or clarify is the fact that you're not going to go in there and just wipe everybody out and send them all home.
Absolutely not. I don't have no plans to get rid of anyone. That would be detrimental. You have many people up there that have several years of experience, dedication to the department, and to go in there and do that would be horrible, because you would have to go in there and hire people to do a job that you don't know how to do yourself. So it's good that you need to keep those quality employees and make sure they know that.
They say, and I think it's true, that the one of the qualities of a good manager or coach or whatever is to hire good people.
Right.
You don't have to know what's going on. You just got to know that the people that you hire are good people.
Right. As long as they know what they're doing, and always
hire them and leave them alone.
Make sure they're doing their job, and leave them alone.
But you may change a few around, maybe. Is that right?
I'm gonna look at it and see, see what's gonna be the best position for folks. There may be some people that's positions may change, but I don't have any intent to go in there and, remove any ones.
Yeah. What are you going to do differently than what's going on at the sheriff's office now? I know that everybody, and that's a question, and I've asked several people over the course of years that I've been up here doing this.
Right.
Obviously, you don't like what's going on, because if you did, you wouldn't run.
Well,
is that not right?
You can sit around and you can complain about something, or you can listen to people complain, or you can sit down and do something about it.
Yeah, that's right.
I think what I'd like to do is I want to work to form partnerships with members of the community. If we can get some neighborhood watches started, and actually either send me or a representative of the sheriff's department to some of these homeowners association meetings when they have them in every month, and that way they can, at least see the sheriff's department. I've had citizens come up to me on a pretty regularly that say they've never seen a sheriff's deputy car come through their neighborhood.
Yeah.
I want to, I realize the county's big, and the deputies are busy, and so it's not always feasible to have someone there, but we want them to at least make the effort to be seen through those neighborhoods. I'd like to have an open door policy when it comes to citizens voicing their concerns. I want to know they can come to the sheriff's department and talk to me. I want to be able to put more deputies on the road patrolling the neighborhoods and businesses, like I said. I want to work on combating the growing drug problem in the county. It's continuing to grow, and I want to do that on a continuous basis, and I don't want to do it just every 4 years so it makes the newspaper. I want to do it every day. I want to work to put people in leadership positions based on merit and experience, and I want to work on cutting the wasteful spending, like I talked about earlier, the airplane. They had a drug dog at one time here, and probably a couple of years ago, they bought a drug dog and had it for about 1.5 years. Well, as a former canine handler with the state, I can tell you that a drug dog is going to cost you tens of thousands of dollars, and plus the training to get the officer to handle the dog is expensive. And they gave that dog away. They didn't sell it. They gave it to the prison out at Capshaw. Excuse me. There's just another thing I'd like to look. They buy the vehicles off of a lot, instead of going through the state bid process where you can actually get them at a discounted rate. They're going and they're buying vehicles off of a lot, and they're not even buying them in Limestone County. They're buying them elsewhere. If you're going to do that, you need to spend your money here. At least the tax base.
Does the bid process, does it not fall in somewhere state bid process? You have to bid something on that price.
You still have to go through the bid process, but if you just up and go to a lot and buy a car, you avoid all that. Now on a bid process, you actually have a waiting period where if you wanted to order 10 vehicles, you're going to have to wait, sometimes months before they can actually get them built and sent to you. But if you're going to buy vehicles off of a lot, I think you need to do that locally.
So you're telling me you can go to a lot here in Athens, you as a sheriff, and let's just take Jimmy Smith out here. He's one of our fine sponsors. And we go out here to Jimmy Smith and say, hey, I'd like a new, whatever they're selling. I know what they're selling out there now. GMC something.
Right.
Sierra, a pickup truck.
Right.
You can buy it. Without having to go out here at Champion and say, look, I got a bid of $10,000 on this vehicle at Jimmy Smith. Can you?
Oh yeah, you can do that. But you're going to have to use your your discretionary money or whatever money to do that. But you'll be able to buy the.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, they're buying vehicles. They're buying vehicles elsewhere and not spending their tax money locally.
Oh, okay. But you think the bid process is the best way to go?
I think it's going to be the cheapest route anyway.
Yeah.
And especially with the vehicles and equipment as well. I mean, you're buying from, it may take you a little bit longer to get it, but it would be cheaper, I believe.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about your family.
All right.
I'm kind of interested to find out. Your mother, she works for.
She works at State Farm at Brickfield up on Marion Street.
Yeah.
My father, like I said,
she's a sweet lady too. She helps me with my insurance.
Oh, she's a good lady. I've known her all my life. She's
have you
great.
really?
Yeah, I have.
Well, I'll say, has she known you this long?
I believe she has.
Real good. Y'all good buddies?
We're pretty good pals. That's right.
Does she cook you Sunday dinner?
She does. Well, we usually go out on Sunday.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good. We'll let that go. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. Yep. Well, I'm married. I married my wife Adria. We've been married for a little over 15 years. We got 3 kids, 11, 7, and 3.
Oh boy, you got your hands full.
Got a house full. Let's see. My father, like I said, he retired from the sheriff's department in 2006. He works out at TVA now. My stepfather, Mark Horton, he works over in Madison. What else you want to know?
I don't know. Where'd you go to school?
I went to school at Athens. I graduated in '95 from Athens High School. From then, I went to Calhoun, where I was studying for a criminal justice degree, and that's when I hired on with the state and moved to South Alabama.
Did you complete that criminal justice degree?
I did not finish it. I hired on with the troopers before I got finished.
The reason I asked that question is because do you think that the education's as important as the actual hands-on work?
I think education is important. However, I believe hands-on experience will better suit you for that position.
Is it something maybe you'd like to go back and pursue?
I would like to go back eventually and finish out my degree.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Real good. You spoke earlier about drugs. We have a major problem with drugs in Limestone County.
You do have. It's a big problem, and then prescription medication is the beginning of it. Sometimes it's even worse. And meth is on the rise. Prescription drugs are on the rise as well.
And I think a lot of people they you talk about drug problems, and first thing they think about is marijuana, cocaine,
right.
Other stuff. They don't think about hydrocodone
right.
and all this stuff that people are going and getting and then turning around and either selling or giving away to people.
Right.
Because I have heard in various reports, not only in Limestone County but in other places, that is a major problem.
That is a major problem. Just because a doctor prescribes that to you for you may have a legitimate reason why you have to take this medication, but just because a doctor prescribes that to you doesn't mean that you're safe to drive with it. Mm-hmm. Now, I've had that. That's been the numerous arguments that I've encountered over the years as far as, well, my doctor prescribed that for me. Well, you can't even stand up. So how are you going
to drive a car?
How are you going to drive a car?
Yeah, I didn't know this until just recently, and one Sunday I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he works for the police department, and he said, if you have a prescription for hydrocodone, and you take the hydrocodone out of the prescription bottle and put it in your pocket because you don't want to carry the whole bottle.
Right.
You're riding down the road, and I don't know, you're just going a little too fast, and Eric Smith pulls you over with state troopers, and just so happens he sees this pill, or you take this pill out of your pocket or whatever. I don't know, how it happens. That you're really at fault.
Yeah, you could actually go to jail for that if it's not in the prescription bottle with a label with your name on it.
Mm-hmm. I did not know that.
Yeah.
A lot of people got these little 7-day pill things, and they put all their pills in there. When they go on vacation, there they are. And then they wind up in the hokey pokey.
And they'll have to bring their prescription from their doctor saying that they had it at that date. So get the case
dismissed. Amazing. But anyway, talking about that, do we still do DARE?
DARE, I don't do DARE anymore.
Are you for DARE, against DARE? You think it's a good program?
DARE is a good program, but like I said, you got your school resource officers now. They can be able to go in there and talk to kids about the drugs. I mean, now you have a school resource officer in every school now. So that'd be something that the school resource officers could actually address with the students.
Do you like the school resource officers?
I do. That's a very good program. That's not only the first line of defense for a school. That also gives the kids someone to look up to. They can form a partnership or a relationship with them. That way they feel more comfortable explaining things. If whatever's going on in the school, if they don't want to go tell a teacher, they can go tell the SRO, and they can see to it that it's addressed.
Do you think that maybe cuts down on some of this bullying that's apparently going on in some of the schools?
Yeah, I believe it does. I believe it could cut down on it a lot.
Now, don't have one in Athens. Don't have one at any of the Athens schools. I don't think we don't have a.
No, so I don't think there is any in Athens.
So I would assume that would fall under Athens PD.
That's going to be under the city would be responsible for those.
Okay. So the sheriff obviously wouldn't have any input at all, I don't guess.
I'm sure he could have some input, but I mean, as far as, you're going to have to look at manpower issues and see they'd have to hire, I think the sheriff's department and the school board just recently hired some for the elementary schools, out the county elementary schools, and most of those are retired law enforcement officers who have come back to work. I know one of my trooper sergeants, he now is a school resource officer with the county now.
Yeah, great. All right, let's take a break here, Tim. 10:31. We'll come back, continue our visit with Eric Smith in just a minute. Hang on.
In Alabama, we dare to defend our rights. And with Obama and Harry Reid in charge, never before have our rights needed defending as they do today. Chris Seibert, he answered the call to defend our country as a captain in the Air Force. Chris Seibert took the call and challenge from Gene Stallings and the University of Alabama and proudly left a letterman. Chris Seibert answered the call to serve his local community as an Athens City Councilman and has helped create over 3,000 jobs for North Alabama. And today, Chris Seibert is fighting to defend our rights. Our right to say no to Obamacare. Our right to say yes to prayer. And our right to bear arms. Chris Seibert, he fought for our country, and now he wants to fight for our rights. Fight back. Chris Seibert for Senate District 1. Paid for by Friends of Chris Seibert, P.O. Box 1008, Athens, Alabama 35611.
Limestone County is a special place. The people here are hardworking, good people, strong people. I'm Mark Yarbrough. I was born here, grew up here, met my wife Gina, raised our family here. I'm a small businessman that has worked his whole life to invest in our community, and that's why I'm running for chairman. This election is about leadership for Limestone County. It's about our residents having a voice at the table, having responsible leaders that put our county's best interest in front of their own. As the only lifelong Republican in the chairman's race, I believe in responsibility, accountability, and honesty, and those are the same qualities I'll work every day to bring to the chairman's office. I'm Mark Yarbrough, and I need your vote on Tuesday, June 3rd in the Republican primary to bring leadership back to Limestone County. Paid for by Mark Yarbrough for Limestone County, P.O. Box 1412, Athens, Alabama 35612.
This is Radio Gordon playing the sounds of electric garbage. I'm your host, DJ Gordon. Let's take a call.
Hey, I just got the new HTC phone from Sprint and it sounds fantastic, but is it good for garbage?
You must have the new HTC One M8 Harman Kardon edition with Clarify. It restores the quality of your MP3s so your music sounds the way it was intended. This next track sounds the way I feel. Not that. Yes, that's better.
From America's newest network that now has better call quality comes better sound quality. Get the new HTC One M8 Harman Kardon edition with Clarify exclusively from Sprint. And for a limited time, when you sign up for a Sprint family plan, you get 6 free months of music on Spotify Premium. Happy connecting from Sprint.
Offer in 7/10/14 comparison to prior Sprint network. Spotify monthly charge at the end of 6 months based on the number of family members with Spotify Premium. $7.99 for 5 or fewer users, $4.99 for 6 or more users. After 24 months, pay $9.99 a month. Cancel Spotify anytime by calling 888-211-4727. Restrictions apply. Visit Sprint.com for details.
WKAC Tuesday weather.
Warm and muggy. Each day this week is going to be about the same. We're just going to rearrange where the showers and storms are. Mother Nature's going to do that for us. Some of these storms are going to be strong. They'll be really small again. They'll last about 35, 45 minutes. Just be aware of the lightning and just know that it doesn't have to be raining where you are for you to be struck by lightning during these types of storms. If you're close by, you can hear the thunder. You're close enough to be struck by lightning. Temperatures today around 90. Same story tomorrow. I'm Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis on WKAC.
This weather is brought to you by Athens Gas Department, reminding you before you plant or dig, call 811. It's a free call. It could save you cash. Call 811 before you dig. Right now, it's 77 at WKAC.
Okay, 10:35 here with Eric Smith. Eric's candidate for sheriff, Republican Party. This is the primary that'll come up on June the 3rd, a week from today.
That's right, 7 days.
Yeah, boy. Where's everybody voting this year? Didn't they change some of the polls?
I know they changed a couple of the voting locations. I think if you were voting at the Armory, I think you're now voting at Lindsay Lane Baptist. I think that's right.
Okay.
But I think.
Do you live in the city or the county?
I live in the city here in Athens.
Okay. All right. you know, everybody wants you to vote for them. You know, there's 3 of you out there that are running, you know, for the Republican ticket.
Right.
You've all got to get enough votes. Of course, it could be a runoff between 2 of you. Right. What is it, 2 weeks after the general?
I think, July the 15th or 16th or something like that.
Of course, I know that all 3 of you would like to get it without a runoff because that's less money, less time you got to be out here doing whatever you got to do, you know. But, I mean, it's a possibility that...
it is possible.
You know, you may have a runoff. So somebody walks up to Eric and says, "Hey, Eric, I'm saying you're running for sheriff." And you say, "Yes, sir, I am." And he says, "Well, why should I vote for you?" Now, you tell me why they ought to vote for you over one of these other guys.
All right. Well, I believe the time has come for Limestone County Sheriff's Department, like I said earlier, to enter the 21st century when it comes to the training and equipment. Crime's not like it used to be years ago. There's new drugs being created, and they're migrating our way. Meth is a growing problem, and it doesn't just affect the people that take the drug. It affects the family members. It affects us, because, I mean, attached to the drug use, it comes along your burglaries, your thefts, your assaults to support that addiction. So the crime's growing. I want to lead the department combating these problems. I feel that I have the working relationship with the members of the Sheriff's Department and other surrounding agencies in and around Limestone County to accomplish great things. Like I said, I'm an honest, I'm a hard-working man, integrity, character, strong morals and values, and I will lead by example, and I won't have anybody ever do a job that I'm not willing to do myself. And that's why I want people in Limestone County to consider me for their vote for next sheriff.
You talk about training. What type of training are you recommending that we do that we're not doing now, or maybe
I believe
expand on?
We know there's all sorts of drug, you know, like the new drug trends are going on. There's actually people that will put those classes on for free. If you go down to Meridian, Mississippi, they actually, only thing you have to pay for is your gas there. I mean, they house you, they put you, all the classes that they put on there are free. You know, that's some of the classes I'd like to put on or have them go to. I believe Limestone County needs a drug dog again. They need, or possibly even two canines. I believe that's a very valuable resource that can be used out here in combating the drugs that travel up through our county on a daily basis.
And, you know, sitting right here where we sit, 65 goes one way, 72 goes the other. I mean, this has got to be prime.
Well, it's just a major thoroughfare.
Yeah.
I mean, now you have the deal with the human trafficking going on.
Yeah.
You know, like what Huntsville, Madison County has stoptrafficking.now.org, or I believe it's stnow.org. But if you get out there and you're working with drug interdiction, you never know. You might find a load of dope, or you may find a load of people that's being smuggled in somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's just get out there and work it.
You think most crimes are drug related? I mean, like, or do you see there a correlation between the two?
I think most of the crimes are at some point are attached to drugs at some point or another. Like I said, the break-ins and the thefts, or, you know, somebody's going to break into your house just to get your TV so they can go and pawn it to get money to go buy their drugs. So I believe they are connected there.
And you talk about meth. Is that obviously it's a terrible drug. I've seen some pictures. The sheriff was in one day, and he had some pictures of some women.
Oh yeah, you have a picture of them before.
Yeah, and he said, look at this lady here, and I looked at her, and I said, yeah, you know. He said, now I want you to look at this picture. And I looked at her, and he said, did you know that this was the same person? And no.
Just a few years later.
Yeah, I mean, it's like she's aged.
Oh yeah,
50 years.
That's terrible. That's a terrible drug. It pretty much just eats you away.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just what do we do to combat this thing?
Like I said, you just need to target it. You need to make sure you target it on a regular basis. And you know, I've had numerous citizens come up to me and say, "Hey, I think my neighbor may be making meth. You know, we need to follow up on those complaints. You know, whether it's actually happening or not, we need to make the effort to go out there and talk to those people. And you know, if it's just to go up and do a knock and talk on their door and see what's going on." But
is this not where DARE is supposed to kind of come in, and from the young people's standpoint, that whether we use DARE, of course, is a national program. We wouldn't have to use DARE, but let's just use it for an example. The theory behind DARE is we teach the elementary kids the bad things about drugs, you know, whatever they are, cigarettes, tobacco, I don't know what, alcohol, all this other stuff. Then when they get older, you know, maybe they won't fall into this stuff.
Fall into that.
Is that not the premise of what there is?
That is the point. Educate them early, and that way they'll know once they get on up. Of
course, I think what happens is we educate them 5th and 6th grade, and then is it 5th and 6th is what Dare was doing, or
I don't remember. That's been years since Dare was actually
5th and 6th there. But then we don't do any more after they get on up into high school, and that peer pressure gets even worse.
Right. I believe that's where an SRO could step in and actually, that could possibly make a difference with that.
Yeah. The SRO is a very important part of the program then.
It is a very important part.
Yeah. Let's go back to this thing that we were talking about earlier in the program. We're talking about this new direction thing.
Okay.
Give me some other things about the new direction that you think that we need to, what the key parts of that thing that we need to fall into?
Well, we need to make sure that the sheriff remembers who put him in that office. We need to make sure we're working for the people, and don't get too comfortable in that position. You need to make sure that you remember who you're working for. That's another reason we need a new direction.
Yeah. Do you think we're losing some of that now?
I feel that you are in a certain way.
Is that part of the 32 years?
I think so. I think 32 years is a very long time to hold one office like that. And I said, I think you get, I guess you'd say, comfortable in that office, and you get a little lax sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I mean, from 32 years, I don't know whether 32. There again, we talked about it earlier. I don't know where it's bad or good. It gets just. I mean, obviously, in 32 years, you understand the job real well and could probably do things that you may not be able to do. He may be able to do with his eyes closed.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
But then again, 32 years, you get comfortable and you make a lot of friends, and things kind of maybe, I'm not saying, but hey, maybe slide under the carpet.
You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
I mean, so I'm just throwing it out there like it is.
You never know what happens with that amount of time in.
Pam's sitting up here thinking, God, what's wrong with you, man? Are you crazy?
We had a telephone question.
Oh, we did?
He wanted to know what you would do about habitual offenders, those folks that are just in and out of jail.
Habitual offenders, that's going to be an issue that's not really up to a sheriff. That's going to be up to the judges and their sentencing. I mean, we have to just do what the judges, what they sentence them to. We'll have to abide by it. Now, I believe that once you've done the same crime a number of times, I believe you need to be incarcerated a little longer if you can't. If you go through once you've been through the rehab, if it's drug related, and once you've been through rehab, and you've got to want to quit. So
dunk them in the Tennessee River.
All y'all can do is just bring them in when they break the law.
That's right. That's not up to us. That's going to be up to the judges and the sentence that they receive from their.
But that has got to be, to me, and I don't know anything about anything. Just to be honest with you, I fooled a lot of people over the course of time. But the thing that would be aggravating to me is to take a person in, and what I felt like was a legitimate claim, have all the I's dotted and the T's crossed, and I've heard this happen, and the judge or the jury says, nope, no way, send him out, he's free. Mm-hmm. And then 6 months down the road, this same person does something that's worse. Mm-hmm. And you have to think, if we'd have stopped him the first time and did what we should have done, we may not have been in the situation that we're in now.
Well, that's one of those things, I run into it on a regular basis as well, where you arrest somebody, whatever. All you can do as the officers, do the best that you can, document the instant, every detail that happened, and do your job getting them off the road putting them.
Now, in some cases, is it a formality that we've missed an I or a T, and we hadn't crossed it, hadn't dotted it? Is that something that, and say the sheriff can sit down with his deputies and say, look, guys, you can't do this and do this, because if you do, they're going to kick this thing out. We've got to make sure we got it all in order. Do we all understand that? Are we all on the same page?
Everybody should be on the same page when it comes to report writing and stuff like that. But as far as you never know what's going to happen in court. Like I said, it could be pled down. Uh-huh. And that happens a lot, where you may get arrested for one thing, but they're going to say, well, I'll plead guilty if you drop it down to this.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot.
Yeah. I guess that does, just to kind of speed things along.
And it's of course it's aggravating. It's aggravating sometimes, because they don't do any jail time, or they don't, and the fine is a whole lot less. Or
how important do you think it is for Limestone County Sheriff and the department to work with number one, of course, Athens PD, but not only that, but just say we got Morgan County down here, we've got Madison over here, we've got Lauderdale over here, and then we've got these counties up in Tennessee, which is a whole another pack of dogs. Right. You know, I don't know how their rules and laws all run with ours, but you know, do we all need to kind of get together and help each other?
If everybody's trying to get the same common goal, and that's public safety, I mean, everybody needs to work together. I'll just take, I talked about it the other night at the forum, as far as I'll take Huntsville Police Department, for example, and even Athens Police Department. There's no joint training effort, between the Sheriff's Department and any surrounding agency. And in the event something happens, where it's going to require more than one agency to respond, with Huntsville PD being in Limestone County now, or, any other police department, there's no training with each other. And I believe that's, we need to start doing that. I realize it's going to be a headache when it comes to making that happen, as far as the manpower and the days off and trying to get everybody on the same schedule to do training. But I believe it needs to be done, because we need to know how each.
So you're suggesting pulling Limestone County and Huntsville together?
Well,
in a training session.
I wouldn't say do it all. Like I said, you could spread it over time, but do it like if you wanted to respond to a shooting incident, you need to know how each department trains. You need to be able, because you may not be going into that building with just your deputies. You may be going into that building with Athens PD, Huntsville PD, Decatur PD. So we need to train as a group at some point, or at least receive the same training, so we know how to react in those situations.
Do we have a SWAT team in Limestone County?
Limestone County does have an SRT team, yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Let's take a break. We're coming up on about 13 away from 11. We're talking with Eric Smith. He's a candidate for sheriff here in Limestone County. We'll be back in just a minute.
This is Radio Gordon, playing the sounds of electric garbage. I'm your host, DJ Gordon. Let's take a call.
Hey, I just got the new HTC phone from Sprint, and it sounds fantastic, but is it good for garbage?
You must have the new HTC One M8 Harman Kardon Edition with Clarify. It restores the quality of your MP3s, so your music sounds the way it was intended. This next track sounds the way I feel. Not that. Yes, that's better.
From America's newest network that now has better call quality comes better sound quality. Get the new HTC One M8 Harman Kardon Edition with Clarify exclusively from Sprint. And for a limited time, when you sign up for a Sprint family plan, you get 6 free months of music on Spotify Premium. Happy connecting from Sprint.
Offer in 7/10/14. Comparison to prior Sprint network. Spotify monthly charge at the end of 6 months based on the number of family members with Spotify Premium. $7.99 for 5 or fewer users. $4.99 for 6 or more users. After 24 months, pay $9.99 a month. Cancel Spotify anytime by calling 888-211-4727. Restrictions apply. Visit Sprint.com for details.
For over 20 years, Dr. Tim Melson helped heal others, but with just weeks to live, it was Tim Melson who needed help. The gift of an organ donor gave Tim Melson a second chance at life. Now it's Tim Melson's turn to give back. It's why he's running for state senate. Dr. Tim Melson knows better than anyone that Obamacare will ruin health care. So he's committed to opposing Obama and his liberal health care plan and fighting back against federal overreach into our schools. Tim Melson is also a farmer and small business owner, so he understands that low taxes and less spending, not government, create jobs. An avid hunter and outdoorsman, Tim Melson will defend our Second Amendment rights, and as a doctor, he understands that life begins at conception, and Tim Melson will restore honesty and integrity in government. Dr. Tim Melson, Conservative Republican for State Senate. Paid for by Tim Melson for State Senate, Post Office Box 550, Florence, Alabama.
Right now, you're hungry, and Jiffy Food Store has you covered. You see, Jiffy Food Store gets up early every morning. It starts with breakfast and those great made-from-scratch homemade biscuits served with your choice of country ham, steak, sausage, chicken, tenderloin. You can add egg or cheese. If you're not fond of biscuits, Jiffy has those great breakfast sandwiches. Then for lunch or supper, try some of Jiffy's chicken fingers, chicken snack packs, JoJo potatoes, or you can have a fresh deli sandwich made anytime. And while at Jiffy, don't forget those fresh homemade desserts. Jiffy Food Store, the original at Hyman Market, next to the post office, or online at jiffyfoodstore.com.
Back in on the program at 10:50, 10 minutes away from 11 o'clock. Of course, we've just built a new jail here the last, how was that jail? Less than 10 years old?
That's less than 10, I believe.
And we're fixing to do some additions to it.
They're fixing to add some more to it.
It's kind of like, it's it's kind of like building an outbuilding to store stuff. You know, maybe you got too much junk. Maybe you need to get rid of some of it. Maybe we have too many prisoners. Maybe we need to get rid of some of them. I don't know.
Hey, it's a whole lot nicer than the old jail used to be. I think the old jail was built for, 90 people?
Yeah, I think so.
You had people sleeping in just all over one another. So.
Well, that's kind of the deterrent for not getting arrested, because you don't have to go there and sleep on top of somebody.
That's right. It's not supposed to be a place you want to go.
Yeah, that's right. Kind of like Andy Griffith there. Notice.
Just come lock yourself in.
Lock yourself in. Get through. Hey, look, if you can't eat and don't have anywhere to stay, go do a crime and we'll put you up, feed you for 3 days, take care of all your medical, all your dental.
That's right.
It's not a bad gig.
It's a pretty good gig.
Yeah, it is. Not a bad gig at all. But they're fixing to add to the jail.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that once this addition is completed, that we'll have adequate space then? Have you even looked at any of that? Do you have any idea?
From what I understand, what they're adding is solitary cells, and I believe that for insurance purposes, they have to have so many of those, and they currently don't have enough of that right now. I believe we'll have. It should last us for several years, I believe, as far as once they get this addition done.
Yeah, you like the location of where the jail is?
Yes, nice, very good location.
Yeah, it's a nice jail.
It is a very nice jail.
From what I've seen,
it's nice.
I don't go frequent jails on a regular basis, check them out like the Holiday Inn or anything. Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
But it's nice.
But it is. It's nice. It's compared to what the other one was. I mean, this is a Holiday Inn.
Yes, it is.
But I just noticed that they had a problem with the I think that was the private cells. And that's why they had to add some more stuff. Does that mean that we'll have to add additional officers to work in the jail then?
You may have to hire a couple more officers. I'm not sure how many jailers they have at the moment, but I'm sure.
Is that something regulated by the state? The state regulates how many jailers you have?
I don't think the state regulates that. That's it's going to be. I guess it determine the ratio between inmates and corrections officers.
Now, one of the things, we're in the 21st century. You mentioned that earlier. Talk about bringing us into the 21st century. And we are, and computers are there. I mean, you can like them, you can hate them.
Right.
I like them and hate them.
Right.
I like to hate them, but you got to have them.
You do.
I mean, listen, it's just a fact. Do we have enough computer systems in the vehicles now, and have all the technology we need in the cars now? Cameras, all the stuff that we're required to have now.
No, we don't have enough of that. You need most of the patrol cars do have computers, and they do have the ability to run your information through what NCIC is what we run it through. However, like a CAD system, a computer-aided dispatching system, we don't have that, and I believe that could cut down on the response time for the deputies. Like if you call 911, it goes to the 911 office on Elm Street. They then transfer it. If you need law enforcement, they'll transfer it to the sheriff's department, and then the sheriff's department's got to radio it to the nearest officer. Where if they could look at a computer screen and see, well, this is where the call is at. If I could look over here and I know I've got a car here within 5 miles or whatever, they wouldn't have to do a roll call pretty much to see who was closest. So I believe it could cut down on the time of response time. Where if just say for instance someone's breaking in on you, you need somebody there right now. I believe the response time could be a whole lot less. So as far as computers or cameras in the vehicles, there's very few cars that have computers in the vehicles.
Do you think that's something that's important?
It is very important.
Y'all have them, I guess, in state trooper cars.
Well, some of us do. I think most of them in Montgomery will have them, but I used to have one in my old car, but now I don't have one in my new one. So.
Okay. What's the advantage of having the camera?
Well, I mean, it cuts down on your complaints. You have people that like to complain on the officer, and then we can go back and look.
They would.
Oh yeah, you hear all sorts of all sorts of complaints where you can actually go look at the video to see whether or not that officer did what you said he did.
Yeah.
And then it's also an officer safety issue, and as far as gathering any evidence, on traffic stops or whatever you may be, it's great evidence collective.
I've seen these things, and I don't know if it's Athens that had some of them, or we're looking at buying some, and it's like an extension that the officer has. It's like a pin or something that they clip on them when they get outside the car, because the camera inside the car obviously can only see so much and capture so much audio, but this thing that they have on them, I don't know what this thing is. Something out of a James Bond movie sounds like to me, but they can.
It's just an officer camera is what it is. I mean, it's just a body cam is what we call it.
Yeah.
And then that way it goes wherever the officer goes. Where if you come up to you have to go to a call in the house. I mean, you've got a camera in your car. All it's doing is video in the front of the house or wherever you parked your vehicle. Where if you've got a camera on your body, it goes where you go, hears what you hear, and knows what's going on.
Yeah. And so are these expensive?
They're really very inexpensive. It depends on what you get. You can get them. Like I bought one. It was a little small one. I said it was like $70, but you can get on up. You can get on up to the more expensive ones.
So I mean, to equip all the officers that we have in Limestone County in the cars, is that possible? You think that's feasible?
It is possible, and it is feasible. Like I said, there's grant money available for that.
Yeah.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Athens PD got some through a grant with, I think Bill Holtzclaw helped them get those body cameras through I believe it's through TVA money or something.
Okay. All right. So that's something we really do need.
We need that, especially the CAD system. I said I believe that would be a very good thing.
Obviously, that would be an expensive program.
That will be expensive, like I said, but there's always grant money to help pay for that. I mean, when you get enough people pulling the money together, it is feasible.
Yeah. So, for the most part, we've just got to make some upgrades and get into the 21st century on some things. We're not living in the days of Mayberry completely, but we're not really where we need to be.
That's right. We still have some improvements we could be making.
Yeah. All right. Final words. We got it's kind of like a debate here. You got 3 minutes.
All right.
I mean, what if you got to sell somebody, and that's what you're doing. That hey, you're the guy.
Right.
Why vote for Eric Smith?
Well, let's see. Like I said, I've been with the state troopers for 17 and a half years. I feel like I have the experience necessary to come out and lead the sheriff's department. Like I said earlier, I'm not one that's going to tell somebody to do something that I'm not willing to do myself. If you want to know more about me, you can go to my website. I have a website. It's www.ericsmith4sheriff.com. And it's got my webpage there. You should find all the information you might want to know about me. You can send me an email through there if you have a question that's not answered on my website. You can send me that, and I'll answer it as quick as I can get back to you. And I'm also on Facebook. If you want to go on YouTube, you can go on YouTube and search Eric Smith for Sheriff, and I have a little commercial on there. You can see it, and also see the candidate forum that was put on at Athens State College last week. We answered questions there, and you can.
Is there anything special that you are certified in? Like a sniper or something?
Well, let's see. With the state, I've been a traffic homicide investigator. I've been a member of Special Ops unit in Decatur Post. I've been on it for probably 10 years or better. And then I was a canine handler with the state. I'm currently a standardized field sobriety instructor, and I'm also a drug recognition expert instructor, which it's a more of an advanced DUI enforcement for someone impaired on drugs. I've been doing that. I'm one of 4 instructors of that in the States. There's only 4 of us in there. Traffic homicide investigator, field training officer. I train new troopers that we get whenever they hire. I'm an FTO. Done all that. I've been an acting corporal as far as with the Decatur Post when we don't actually have a supervisor working. I'm the senior officer that's usually working out, and I'm the one they call to ask all the questions to. So.
Right. Wendy Bagwell, he retired from State Troopers, did he? Did you know Wendy?
I didn't know him.
He used to be the, I don't know what he was really, the public information guy that came by, and every so often he'd record PSAs for us. This is Trooper Wendy Bagwell with Alabama State Troopers, and yada, yada, yada. He was a great guy. If you needed a question, if they had a wreck or something you needed a question,
right.
He was.
And now we have Trooper Curtis Somerville for that now. I think he's our PIO.
Okay, good deal. Well, Eric, it's been a pleasure talking to you. This is the first time I really had a chance to sit down and talk to you for an hour.
Well, thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and hopefully, everybody, we got
to get everybody out there June 3rd to vote.
Yeah, and I've often wondered, from a political standpoint. Of course, this is a race between 3 people that aren't in office, right now at the present time. You got to get to, like I said, we've got to get through this stage to another one. Yes, ma'am? You have a question?
There's a caller who had a question. He wants to know the very first thing you do if you got elected.
The very first thing I do if I got elected would be go in there, and I need to sit down, and I want to see what everybody does administratively. I want to go see what job they do and make sure there's no redundancy in those jobs. First thing I want to do is look at the budget. I need to see what I got to work with for the rest of it, because I'll be coming in with just a few months into the new budget, and I'll have to make that work until the next fiscal year, which will be October of 2015. So I'd have to look at the budget, see what I got to work with.
Yeah. All right. Good deal. Thank you a lot, Eric. Good luck to you.
Hey, thanks.
And if something happens and you're the next sheriff, then you'll have to put up with us because we'll be calling you.
Hey,
and
call me anytime.
We're back in on the program a little after